Welcome to another day of the ASL. It's Group E. Welcome to
Light.
another day
whoa.
of the ASL. It's
What's going on
Group
here?
E. Welcome to
Light.
another.
Oh, gotta mute myself. Accidentally had the stream open. All right, so it's Group E today. We've got YSC facing off versus Light in our first match, and then we've got Shine versus Jaedong. Today I'm flying solo here, no one to help me out, but that's cool. Done that before a few times in the past. I'm gonna be straightforward. There's a lot of dead space to fill in ASL, so we may be going into. I may just be putting up the StarCastTV logo because it's gonna be tough to fill that much dead space. But I've been looking forward to this group the entire week, not just because we have my favorite Terran, which is Light, but because we've got two Zergs in here, and we desperately need to get a Zerg through. Yesterday we saw. Uh, who was it? I have already forgotten, really. Let me look. I know yesterday we had C taking down Action twice, which was pretty crazy. Oh, C, Action, Speed, and Best was yesterday. And of course, we got through two Terrans, both Best and Action, who I really thought were the favorites of the group. Getting knocked out was very surprising. With Action in particular being knocked out, we still only have two Zergs, just Jaedong and Hero. Today, I think there's a really good shot that at least one of the Zergs are going to make it out. And the reason I say that is because Shine, he's consistently, even round of 8, he's gone round of 4 a couple times. He's really freaking good, man. In the StarCastTV Star League that I just finished up a couple weeks ago, he ended up getting, I think, 4th place there. So good showing there from him also. He's a really good tournament player. And what I like about Shine is even though he's known as kind of a gimmicky, all-in strategic player, actually watching the games on StarCast, specifically him versus Sharp and versus Sins, is he plays a lot of macro games. He can actually, really bring it to you in the macro game. And I actually thought he was going to beat Snow in the last game of that series that we had, the best of 7. So I think there's a good shot he makes it out, but I will say, I was looking at the stats between him and Light in particular. If we end up getting that matchup, it's very lopsided in favor of Light. It's like a 75% win rate. So Shine is definitely going to be rooting for YSC to get through the top, and definitely going to be rooting, if he ends up going to the loser side, to face off against Jaedong or YSC again. And like I said, Light the favorite of this group, but I did check the stats of him versus Jaedong, and surprisingly, it's really close, like 50-50 from 2017 to 2023. It's actually very, very close, like 18-19 overall. So this could be a very exciting series, and I know Jaedong has played versus Light in the recent weeks. They had a couple epic games, actually. I think there was a best of 5, I remember, where Jaedong started up 2-0. I think Light actually ended up winning the series with the comeback sweep. But that should be an exciting series. I'm expecting it to be close. And I did try and look up YSC on Liquipedia, but wasn't able to get his match history, so I'm not sure what name I'm supposed to be looking for. Am I supposed to be looking for Tulbo or YSC or something else? But no stats on him. I know that he's a very good Protoss, but he's someone like Noob or Sins, where we see him every now and then in the ASL. I have been seeing him more often in Pro League in the recent months, but not too sure if this is a good group for him because Light is a specialist in Terran versus Protoss. We know for sure Shine is a specialist in Zerg versus Protoss, and definitely Jaedong has always been an amazing player. So I think, just like yesterday, where I kind of predicted that C is going to be kind of the dark horse of the group, YSC, he's going to need to also channel his inner C energy here, try and make a miracle win to get out of this group, in my opinion. As far as the ZVZs, I guess I can check it right now. We'll see how Jaedong faces off versus Shine. Let's take a look right now. All right, Shine versus Jaedong. Wow, actually, they have just not played very much at all. I only have 2 results on Liquipedia, one from ASL Season 14 and one from ASL 15. And just like what I was saying with Light versus Jaedong, it's pretty much 50-50. Technically, the series is in favor of Shine. It's 3-2 overall, but I mean, it's only 5 games played. So really not sure what to expect there. I'm trying to remember, let me look up StarCastTV Season 2 Star League. Like I said, Shine did very well in this tournament. I'm trying to remember if he actually played any Zerg versus Zergs that may come to mind. No, that's kind of what I expected. I didn't remember Shine playing a Zerg versus Zerg. I remember in StarCast TV Star League, we had an epic one between Action and Hyun, where Hyun was down and somehow made a miracle comeback twice in a row. Trying to see what the stats say at the bottom for this graphic. It looks like it says between Light and Shine, their overall recent scores are 2-1, so somewhat close there. But like I said, historically, Light has just been dominant versus Shine in particular. It's not really a shocker to me to see that type of stat because Shine, he does a lot of crazy stuff. Like I said, he can do normal builds, but Light, he's just so solid. He doesn't really play crazy styles. He doesn't really do, like a 5-racks. Not that 5-racks is crazy, but sometimes you can get a little bit too cocky playing a 5-racks into something like a 2-hatch. Even though Light does do Wraith play quite a bit, I think versus someone like Shine, you're probably not going to want to go for that because it's very likely that, he may just blindly open 2-hatch Hydra. So because of that, my experience watching Light, he tends to play something like 3-racks or 4-racks, very solid, and then evaluate what he's facing and respond accordingly. And versus someone like Shine, that's exactly what you need to do. I think this would be a better group for Shine if he had Royal in place of Light, where Royal will just go with what he's planned regardless of what he scouts. Oftentimes you see him 2-racks, he loses a fight, and then he'll die to just Midas. But that's just not going to happen, I don't think, versus Light. Now, that graphic right there, I saw this is the last group with any Zerg, so desperately need to get some Zergs out. Like I was saying, we just have Jaedong, or we just have Hero and Solkian, even though both of those players, you imagine, can do very well in the tournament. You really need something to fall back on, please, because if there's an upset with any of the Zergs, then you only have one remaining, right? And, I like Terran versus Protoss, and I like Terran versus Terran, but we need to have some Zerg so we can get some Zerg versus Protoss going. And at the bottom, we can see that stat said something about YSC is the tier 4 player of this group. I don't remember what EO Gall means, but it's probably something like, do you think you can make it actually make it out of this group? I'm sure he probably said yes. I'm sure he probably is agreeing with me, saying that this is a hard group for him, and I would agree with that because this guy right here, this guy doesn't lose Terran versus Protoss, or at least he didn't in the past. And like I said, you've got 2 killer Zergs here. This is really rough. And it looks like player interviews are done, and we'll be getting into the games momentarily. So first games of the day, of course, are going to be Dominator, Light versus YSC to start us off. Like I said, this is a remake, kind of Gladiator, and I remember this map being pretty good for Protoss. A lot of epic games, in fact, on this map with Terran camping for the majority of the game. Not that Terran doesn't camp just in general, but in this map in particular, it can be pretty hard to do anything else other than camp because of all the money that Protoss generally gets. Now, yesterday, we saw Speed go completely against the grain, multitasked like an absolute legend, and took down Best on Dominator. If you guys haven't seen that game, I would recommend that, simply because the multitask was absolutely nuts. And that graphic, it looks like they're actually playing the Star League on actual TV. I don't remember when I was in Korea there being an actual TV channel for this tournament, but maybe I'm wrong. So that is cool to see that if there actually is, it's back on TV like in the olden days. Still no return of Into the Rain. As I mentioned, I think in day one, from what I've read about Into the Rain, he's like very sick right now. So we're praying for him to get better and get back onto the desk. I'm sure TY has been doing a really fantastic job, especially with there being a lot of Terrans this season. You know, we've had 12 in the round of 24, and there could potentially be 8 remaining in the round of 16. Almost none of them have essentially been eliminated. As you can see, Barracks, Rain, Bisu Mini, Rush, Royal, Speed, and C have all made it out. So that is what? 5 Terrans? 5 Terrans out of 8 possible players. We still have Light remaining, which I think it's a good shot that he's going to make it out. And then tomorrow, even though you've got the powerhouse Protoss players here, especially uh, especially good versus Terran, JYJ and Mine, they're freaking freaks of nature, man. Mine, even though he has the low APM, and I'm doing low in air quotes because, you know, it's not really very low, but low APM, his TVP is killer. JYJ2, you know, he's taken out Bisu in ASL a couple times. And like I said, this is a rundown of the players so far. I mean, there's really not even that many Protoss either. So we need YSC, Stork, or Free to also make it out so that we can get a few more Protoss players into the round of 16. Protoss is really not lacking any of their superstars, though. If nobody else gets out, Snow, Rain, and Bisu and Mini, I mean, that's a killer lineup. Literally every single person can go to the finals. Looking at this stat, we have the top left. It says 1-0 Light versus YSC. This was season 11, round of 24, so it's been quite a while. Then also top right stat, Light versus Shine, 4-2, season 14, round of 16. He won 2-1. Then bottom left, like I mentioned, only 5 games total between Shine and Jaedong. It's 2-3 overall in favor of Shine. However, in round of 16, season 15, Jaedong won 2-1. And then Shine versus YSC, season 11, Group B. Shine was the winner of that. Let's see. It's something about rank 1 for Light. Maybe he's the number 1 ranked tier 1 player. I'm not sure exactly what that graphic says. Something about a comeback for Shine in the second graphic. Again, not sure exactly what that says. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly of these particular words, but something about the Tyrant for JD in tier 3, and then 4th tier for... Oh, okay, I can actually read the graphic with YSC Tolbo. It actually says it's the last time that they play, or this is another group that he's playing in with Light and Shine. So maybe he can get the best of them this time. We're getting a look at Light's overall stats in the ASL. I'm surprised that he's just a 50% win rate versus Terran and Zerg, but no shocker to see that his best matchup is actually versus Protoss. You can see he was a champion of ASL, runner-up once, and no round of 4 appearances. Okay, so I guess if he makes it to round of 4, he's just going to go the distance. And for YSC, I'm sure we're going to see his stats in a moment. And like I said, we haven't seen YSC in that many ASLs. You can see that reflected in the stats. Not very many games played, just 5 overall. On Light's graphic, it says he's been in the ASL 17 times. So out of the 18, he's pretty much qualified every single time. I think Best yesterday, it mentioned that he qualified every single season of ASL. That's pretty sick. And meanwhile, YSC has only qualified 3 times. I'm not sure how he's qualified 3 times and only played. Oh, I guess this is his 3rd time qualifying. I was gonna say, like, how does he qualify 3 times and only played 5 games? You have to play at least 2 each season. But I guess this is the 3rd time, so that's why he only has 5 games. I do want to shout out Gurumi yesterday. I did actually catch that you did make a donation to our stream. Thank you very much for supporting the StarCast cast. I forgot to mention it, but I did see it, so thank you very much if you're out there. And if you guys do want to support the StarCast TV, we do have a Patreon. You should definitely check us out on patreon.com/ I think either ASL StarCast TV or it's just flat out StarCast TV. And also, you guys are most likely going to be watching this on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching us there, and you can follow us or subscribe. That also helps out the channel quite a bit. Huh, I don't know about that graphic right there. That one on the right said sexy light when he's showing off his Crocs. Is Crocs sexy? Maybe in Korea. Not sure what this is referencing with the medic. I do not know who Duchan Neem is, so. Looks like our players are ready. We're going to get into Dominator in just a moment. And here we go. So game one, going to be Light facing off versus YSC. Here we go. So in the top, well, I got baited. In the mid right, we do have Light. And in the top left, we do have YSC. So yesterday, I don't remember who it was that mentioned this to me. I think it was actually TT1. He was mentioning that, you know, Speed yesterday, who played on the right side on Dominator, getting the 3 o'clock position, he was only able to manage to fit 7 factories. That is not that much stuff to fit. So, if we only get 7 factories from Light on a map like Dominator, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to win. But if you're not able to put down that many buildings, do you really want to play for a late game here? Does that, you know, maybe trigger something like a 5 or 6 fact and try and just go for an instant killing blow? We know Flash has come back in recent months and he's been doing a lot of timing attacks, floating the racks and the eBay behind it. And of course, all the Terrans follow Flash. But I think it is somewhat likely that we could see it. The recent 3 season results for both players. Round of 16 is the best placing finish for Light, which is surprising because Light's so good. And then I think the graphic for YSC said he didn't make it through the qualifiers, so nice to see him back. We do have an interesting gateway placement. Not sure what to think of this. Yes, it's technically forward, but does not, you know, really close up the gap at the entrance. I guess it kind of covers your ramp a little bit, but I don't really think that's going to have much of an impact if we see Vulture run-bys. We do have YSC. He's going to go to the top, or to the correct position at mid-right. It is, I think, a Zealot opener with a Goon coming, so this is going to be a lot of pressure from YSC right from the get-go. On maps like this, where there is high ground, it can be hard to deal with, and with Light finding YSC last, I think that this could do a lot of damage. Just point being annoying. It might die, man. One shot. Not gonna get it, though. And there is the Zealot. And you know that that probe really wants to find that SCP so he can finish the job. But here's that Zealot that I was talking about. Now, the probe was very damaged, so it is just gonna go back. But as a Terran player myself, when I see that there's no probe comboed with the Zealot anymore, it does make me think that he could be proxying. So I'm sure Light will be thinking the same thing. Now, despite the cybernetics being pretty quick, it's actually 2 Zealot pressure. So even more pressure than I was anticipating. And there we go, this is what I was talking about. When the probe is not there, it really does look like that it's going to be some type of hidden tech. And I think that this is going to be probably gateways. Originally, I was going to say I think it's going to be a robo, but I think that it's actually going to be gates here. But look at this, the SCV didn't get... oh, the SCV doesn't see it! And it is gateways. It's going to be a 3-gate. This is going to be nightmarish. 2 zealots, 1 goon. I think Terran beats this right now, but it's going to be really hard to deal with the follow-up. Is it not 3-gate? It looks like it's actually 2-gate robo. That third building that went down over there looks small relative to the gateway. Well, I'm sure Light knows something's already going on because YSC's supply is really low, and he's obviously not got any tech buildings up. Oh, no way! How do you go through the middle? I can't believe this. So he doesn't spot it. And this is, with the robo, means that he can elevator the goons into the main. It's an immediate elevator, by the way. This is crazy. Light really needs to figure out what this is. And he's lifting his barracks. The only way you hold this is if you build continuous Marines. There's no way you can hold this on one factory. That's just not going to happen. So this Vulture desperately needs to find this proxy, and he is still going to miss it. How's it possible? It's right there. Oh, now he finds it. Oh, okay. He needs to land his Raxman immediately. He needs to build like 4 or 5 Marines, just really spam units. I didn't actually see if there was a reaction from Light, but he is in trouble, man. The shuttle should be out, right? Like, if it's not out, it's like gotta be in the next couple seconds. And what makes this even harder to deal with is there's a Reaver coming, and versus something like this, do you really want to get Siege? Like, you need Siege to deal with the Reaver, but do you really want to siege up when you're going to be elevated in your base so quickly? I feel like you're going to have to micro your tank quite a lot. So in that sense, is mines the better option? Because as the goons and zealot, run into your base, you want them to just run into mines. Now the elevator's coming in. We've already got the 2 zealots. Light has already pulled a lot of his Marines. Good body blocking with the SCVs. The goon is trying to get in. Oh, wow. Tanks. Already 2 of them out. He needs to get in more goons. He's not able to get in more than just yet. Another goon falls. All the zealots are gone. With all the zealots gone, this is going to be a hole. Oh, another good focus fire onto the goon. SCVs at the top are doing work on that goon. That tank falls. Reaver's out, though. That's the problem, is the Reaver's out, and the turrets are not able to keep it out. Oh, man. There's the siege, but it's only one tank. But if you can get rid of the goons like that, the Reaver is not going to win just by himself. That's not going to happen. Oh, clutch repair. Oh, did he attack his own turret? Maybe he misclicked there, but the turret ends up falling. But this was amazing defense from Light. But it's not over yet. The Reaver into the main. He's got to be careful about putting that tank too far forward. Okay, and that's exactly why. That tanks him get traded. Turret's going to die. There's still only 1 factory production, right? Yeah, 1 factory production. There's the second Reaver, man. Supplies are so close, 39 to 34, but I don't think Light has any more Marines, right? He's got a second factory coming, but it's going to take a while for it to get out. Oh, he's going to attack the bunker? There's still something in it. Okay, so that's nice that he at least still has something there. Uh-oh, SCVs have been found. Double Reaver. Goodbye. 8. And the natural has been breeding. No! What? The turret kills the shuttle and both Reavers have died. An absolute miracle for Light. How did that happen? This looked like it was going to be a free win. Now it's just 4 goons versus 3 tanks plus SCVs. If he just repairs the tank, he's fine. Oh my gosh, YSC, how did that happen? Now it's almost impossible for YSC to bring this back. He has only 1 goon, 1 Reaver. Terran has his double factories up. Yes, vultures are not, very strong, but they don't need to be strong. All they need to do is get off a single pot shot, get rid of some shield damage, and soak up hits. That's all they have to do. Look at that, it's already done 40 damage to that goon. The Reaver's gonna get focused down. The goon at the bottom doesn't kill a tank, and that dies. And YSC, he just taps out. Oh my gosh, this is a heartbreaking loss. I cannot believe that turret. How much range does that thing have? Yeah, YSC can't believe it either. That was a one game for him. And that was, out of all players to botch a game versus, you do not want to botch versus Light. Imagine Light loses in the top side and YSC somehow wins in the bottom side and they play again. Light's not going to lose twice in a row to something like that. That's just almost impossible. So that was, oh, I feel so bad. I cannot believe that turret got the kill. He was going to win easily. 4 goons, 2 reavers versus, even if you include the third tank, which I don't think would have been out in time, there's no way that Light would have held. So absolute miracle win from Light. He's going to be in the winner's match. And, with only the Zergs having, coming through the bottom side, which he has a winning record versus both, if he can get Shine in particular, this looks like Light may most likely get out of the group in first place. I'm looking at the chat. Yes, some would call that justice. I'm pretty sure Artosis would call that justice. I don't think that was justice. I think that YSC had the perfect counter play and got unlucky. We are going to be going into a break though, and then we'll be back with our Zerg versus Zerg, which is Shine versus Jaedong. All right, we are back. Second match of the day. This time, Shine versus Jaedong. I cannot believe that YSC was not able to get the victory there. That's the second disaster of the tournament, both happening to Protoss players. You gotta feel bad for him, man. Disaster struck Motive when he scouted that mineral patch. Disaster strikes where Light gets the miracle turret shot. He must have gotten the StarCraft 2, what is it, turret range upgrade? I can't remember if that actually existed in StarCraft 2 or if it was building armor or what it was, but absolute hero. It's funny because yesterday the DT drop versus speed. We talked about how the turret was pretty close to detecting the DT, but just slightly out of range. What the heck is that guy in the turret doing? We need some detection. Well, he must have heard our complaints, because he came through clutch there for light as he sniped it from downtown. Oh man, that would have been so epic if YSC could have gotten into the winners match. But it is what it is. Now he's down in the losers bracket. Gonna be rough. But Jaedong versus Shine coming up. A ZVZ. Like I stated, 5 games played between them, technically in favor of Shine. But I haven't seen Shine play that many ZVZs in general. We all know that JVZ, it was real in the olden days. Like what was it, either 70 or 80% win rate versus Zerg. He was the innovator of just absolute domination in ZVZ. Back then, there was no one like him. Absolutely no one. Zerg was always, or ZVZ was always considered a coin flippy matchup, but he proved that, hey, there's no such thing as coin flip in ZVZ, because there's no way you're coin flipping a 70% win rate that many times. We'll see if he still has it. We're looking at Shine stats. 15 games in total versus Zerg, almost 50% win rate. So his Zerg versus Zerg is pretty freaking good. No shocker that his versus Protoss is deadly. I mean, he's just a mastermind in that matchup. Like I said, he can pull out a variety of strategies. He's got big time macro. In fact, in StarCastTV Star League, he brought a lot of macro games to Snow. Still ended up losing, but it was a 4-3. And I thought he was going to win the final game. So really, really strong player, which is why you see him consistently in the round of 8. And what about Mr. JVZ? Surprisingly, JVZ has not come to fruition since Remastered has come out. You can see it's actually his worst matchup, sitting at just 33%. Of course, Zerg players in general have upped their skill level immensely. You know, even newcomers, technically, have made a name for themselves. You know, Soma, kind of the new innovator for Zerg players. Maybe Soulkey's got that title right now, since Soma's not that active. And I did notice in that graphic 12 appearances for Jaedong in the ASL. A lot of Shine fans right there. He's known as the Typhoon Zerg. And of course, Jaedong fans right there. I don't know what all these faces are from. Like, are these from the university streams? Or like yesterday we had a lot of faces also with C. Today we had a lot of faces with Light, and now I think that was Shine, if I saw that correctly. I'm not sure exactly where those are coming from, whether they're memes or if they're referencing like a specific match or something. But crowd is memeing quite a bit the past 2 days. And we are ready with game 2, so let's get into it. It's going to be Shine facing off versus Jaedong. Alrighty, so in the mid-right, we do have Shine, and in the top left, we do have Jaedong. Okay, I thought that was a 5-pool. I was like, wait a minute, 5-pool in ZVZ? Is that a thing? And looking at the previous 3 seasons, we can see Shine round of 16 in season 15, didn't make it in season 16, round of 24 in the round of 17, or in season 17. And I didn't actually get all the stats for Jaedong, but it looked like it was pretty much round of 24 across the board. So Jaedong looking to make it into the round of 16 for the first time in quite a bit. I do notice right from the get-go that Shine has gotten off a good scout pattern. Not only is he going to find Jaedong first, but this scout pattern also would intercept Lings immediately. And that's going to be nice, because we see Jaedong going for the 9 pool, Whereas Shine, like I said, I don't remember seeing a lot of his Zerg versus Zergs, but I'm hoping here, for his sake, that this is either an overpool or a 12 pool. If this is going to be 12 hatch, I don't think Dominator has the longest rush distances. Uh-oh. Well, Shine may be in trouble here. This is not only going to be, well, technically an 11 hatch, but you know it's a map with the low ground main, which means if you end up killing this, you're going to have high ground advantage. You're obviously going to have tech advantage. And I don't think Shine will ever be able to get out of his base. It's just going to be really dire straits for him. I guess the question that we still have to wait and see answered is whether this is speed or lair. We're getting that 100 gas in just a moment, and it's going to be speed. Okay. Well, this is going to be pretty rough. I can't even really remember the last 9 pool that was held with an early hatch like this, but as I stated, because this Overlord had a good scout pattern, he at least sees it coming. And yeah, this rush distance doesn't look very long at all. I don't know the exact amount of seconds. I'm probably going to guess maybe like 25, 30. Hatch is about to finish. Okay, lings are being built. Maybe he can get all these lings into position in time. I don't know. The 8 lings are going to be here in just a moment. Soon to be 10. And here comes the drones. It's going to be, what was it, 7 drones pulled? Okay, well, 8 lings are already here. Oh, he wants that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's he doing? He killed 1 drone. He killed 2 drones. Oh, wow. Is speed already done? Jeez Louise, that is a fast upgrade. Oh, Shine gets a pretty good surface area right there. But he did lose, what was it, 2 drones? Almost lost the hatch. Oh, no. And now he's in the main. Okay. This is, I don't think it can get worse than this. Other than, of course, losing the hatchery. He kills another drone. Now all Shine can do is all in. And Jaedong knows that that's all he can do. So he backs off immediately. He still, of course, has the 3 lings. 120 health? 87? Oh, it's so low. Really good micro right there. Man, look at this. How did the Zergs manage their micro? Like, oh, actually, Jaedong lost that fight. I thought he was going to easily win it. Okay, well, supplies are really close. 13 to 13. Of course, Jaedong has a massive advantage with the lings in the main. But Shine not out of it. If he continues to all in, maybe he can overwhelm. We've got the Spire about halfway done. Oh, he wants the hatch. It has 70 health. Not able to get it, though. But, of course, the real problem is the Spire's halfway done. And when that finishes, there's not enough money for Evos. There's not enough money for colonies. I think that we're going to see this game end in the next minute and a half. He actually is so confident he canceled the colony. Oh, my gosh. That hatch, he wants it so bad. Oh, he catches it, though. Okay, well, the problem is if Shine leaves, he's going to lose his hatch. Oh, he needs to catch this. Oh, he gets it. He needs to get this. I think you just got to base trade, man. You're not going to win versus the mutas. You just got to counter. Instead, he chases the lings into the main, and that's all Jaedong needed. That's literally all he needed. Now there's no hope. I mean, not that there was much hope anyways, with you not mining any gas or even any minerals. But there's no chance of a counterattack working at this point. And that means that Jaedong, you know, he's going to take this game. You know, after yesterday where C made a miracle comeback, I'm kind of hesitant to, you know, to call the game before the GG, but there was no hope there. And Jaedong, he's going to take a victory there. Really quick game, of course. Build order countered pretty damn hard. You can see why 9 pool versus 11 hatch or 12 hatches. Almost impossible to stop. Also, with it being high ground, like I said, I mean, if you lose the high ground, it's just, you're just not recovering. Also, that ramp is pretty damn big. I think if it was a smaller ramp, like a retro ramp, those 3 lings that Shine had coming from his main base probably could have gotten into like a hold position where the 3 lings couldn't have run by. So that was also a benefit for Jaedong there. And it looks like something like a 9 pool speed on that map in particular is definitely the way to go, or like Overpool or something along those lines. Either way, the Jaedong fans, they're clearly happy about that victory. Quick game that's going to set us up for what I think a lot of people probably wanted to see out of this group. It's going to be Light versus Jaedong in the winners match. As I stated in the past week, I've seen a few epic games between him and Light. And also a few months ago, they had a crazy wild game on Retro where Jaedong was clearly winning. I remember it vividly because Light, he was down, and then all of a sudden, he just went Super Saiyan mode, drops everywhere, was legitimately attacking like 5 areas at the same time, the top middle base, mid right base, dropped the main, and I think he was also irradiating like all the lurkers at one of those bases. It was crazy. So, TVZ between Light and Jaedong. Like I said, with me being solo cast here, it's going to be pretty rough to fill a lot of dead space. So since we're just going to be going into an ad and, we don't have any background sound, I'm just going to put up the StarCastTV graphic and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And we are back. Winner's match coming up between Jaedong and Light. We just saw Jaedong get a ZVZ win. What are our bans? We have Kickback ban. I don't think that's surprising from Light. Then we have a Minstrel ban from Jaedong. And that means that we're actually going to have Deja Vu, as me and Raz talked about yesterday. I think this is probably the most wanted to play map. It's the most standard. There's not really a lot of terrain issues like Minstrel. There's no weirdness like Kickback with, having double expansion available to you. So no shocker to see Deja Vu get picked here. And I wonder what they have both prepared. Even though I don't think Kickback is the greatest map for Terran, I do think if you can play Race, which Light clearly can, I think that can be a good map for you, but maybe he's not willing to risk playing Kickback if he can get the option to just play a normal map. So that's probably the logic there, not willing to, if you go Wraith and it doesn't do the critical damage that you're looking for, all of a sudden you're having to deal with 3 base, 3 gas Zerg immediately. Where even if it fails to work on Deja Vu, for example, like let's say he goes Race there, which I don't think he will, but let's say he did, at least he only has to deal with, the normal Zerg having 1 expansion. So our players are ready. Let's get into our winners match, find out who's going to make it out of the group in first place. And here we go. In the top left, our Terran. It is Light. And in the top right, we do have the one and only, it's Jaedong. So Jaedong, this time, going to get the correct Overlord Scout pattern. Going to find Light in the top left position, which is nice. So far, nothing unusual. Okay, what's this? I think it said he came to watch Jaedong in the SSL, which is nice of him. And Light, is this going to be an 8 racks? Is this going to be a low ground depot? Okay, it is a depot. So it's going to be the semi-wall. As you can see on the right side, there's that tile set where there is a gap, kind of similar to Sylphid. So Lings do have the opportunity to run by. And we know who that is. That is definitely a Jaedong reference. Oh, this guy came all the way from New York to watch. Crazy. And we are going to have a 12 hatch from Jaedong here. Jaedong, I don't think, is the one to go for 12 pool that often, so I don't think the pool is going to come down. Oh, and that guy also came from the United States to watch the Tyrant play. Okay, a lot of Jaedong fans in the crowd today. International ones too. There's the hatch. And I suspect that we're going to have just the command center in a second from Light. SCV coming out to scout. Nothing unusual here. Jaedong sees that he's got the right position, and Light is going to find him first. So that's good for him. And once again, we've got the typical 2-minute pool, 2-minute gas. Everything is just as you expect. Okay, this is a double scout. So Light delayed his initial scout a little bit and instead went for a double scout. Not really the biggest of deals. He's going to turn that around and just go for command center follow-up. So really, we're just waiting to see what follow-up is going to be for Light. We all know that it's going to be a Lair for Jaedong. There's no way that this is going to be, like a Speedling all-in with an SCV in his base. We're just really waiting to see what the gas timing is. Yesterday, we saw C go for an interesting delayed mech type of play. That means, that type of gas timing is going to come down around like 250-ish. So if Light goes for that, we could see another delayed mech. And we're going to have a little bit of pressure. 1 SCV, 1 Marine. I think we saw this in the StarCast Star League where Sharp was doing this to Shine. But he ended up going for bunker. This time around, it's literally just one Marine. Look at that drone. He's not afraid, man. You want to... Okay, there's no way. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, dude. You got to do something. You're a Marine. Don't let a drone kill you also. We know the drone can beat the SCV one-on-one. But a Marine also? I think that Marine's going to be able to get back in time. Marines are pretty freaking slow, though. So I could see the Ling somehow catching up and getting him. It is going to be as 2 racks. No fast gas. Well, it is sort of, kinda fastish. Looks like it's probably going to be like a 345 academy, unless that academy has already started at the bottom left of his mineral patch. Okay, it already did. So actually, this is like a 330 academy. So this could be either a quick attack onto the natural. Maybe he'll do that after he knows he forced a few Lings. Or it could be that he just wants to get the academy to get the fast upgrades. Knowing Light... I think this is just to get the fast upgrades. Spire is about halfway done. Ling SCV finally gets taken down. And I was looking at the rally units coming from the main of Jaedong. It looks like it's just more drones, no more Lings. So he's not going to try and get, you know, he's not going to try and pull a fast one like Beast tried to do in the StarCast Star League, where he's going to be pumping out a lot of Lings and hide them out on the map. We do have, okay, this is an interesting move out. There's no medics. I'm going to hope that a medic is popping out of that. Well, you moved out really quick, man. I don't think Light has stim. Okay. Wow, he's literally just going with no medic. That is crazy to me, but it's hitting really freaking fast. If he was to stim for it, maybe the Firebat's too low to just stim for it, but this is a lot of pressure. There's the single medic, and it is not going to get taken down. Now, he did use his scan on the natural, so he doesn't really know if there's an in-base hatch or if a hatch is out on the map. Somehow he just knows that, hey, it's bottom right, and this is probably going to be canceled. Okay, this is great game sense from Light. I mean, maybe this is just him knowing how Jaedong plays, and Jaedong, he's not even going to try and save it. He just immediately counters. The turrets, I think, are going to be in the nick of time. Also, yeah, that's gone. And now, not only is it dead, he's now lost vision of the units. These units could sit here. They could go back towards the base. They could actually also go counter. And if he goes and counters, even though it's only one medic, you know, if none of the units are there to support the Sunken, I think he could win the game with that attack. So the Mutas need to actually be... They need to figure out where this army is. Instead, he's going to try and do harassment in the main. He's doing good damage. I guess range is not done just yet. Here come the Lings. Okay, did Light overstep being out of position this long? Looks like the Firebats are going to try and save the day. That turret is still alive, though. There's not enough Mutas. Another Muta dies. And with Light's reinforcements coming back, I think Light is going to hold. One of those Mutas is so low. It's only 4 Mutas in total. That one takes a lot of damage. And that other Muta that's hanging around the cliff, I'm guessing that it's also taken a lot of damage. So these Mutas, very injured. No third hatch, no third base. He is in big time trouble. Light may lose a depot, but I guarantee you he doesn't care about this depot, 100%. He will take losing a depot. Look at that, he even killed the depot to get out. Jaedong, I think he's sending another drone down to bottom right, so he's going to retake that base as fast as he can. Another scan goes off. Okay, he scanned the high ground to see where the Mutalisks were. I thought he scanned bottom right again, but not the case. Another scan goes off. All right, how much damage can he get done? Okay, gets that SCV. Okay, 3 Marines. There's 10 Mutas here. There's no, oh no way, did he really mess up? There's no turrets here, and his factory is completely out of position. This is the angle that you want to fight at. All the units clumped up. This could be Jaedong's comeback, man. Lings are going into the natural at the same time. Well, I thought they were going to do more than that. But he has found the sweet spot here. This is so hard to deal with. Supplies are in favor of Jaedong now, just slightly, but Light is really on the back foot now. Also, this Rax is really isolated, too. How do you save this Rax? How do you complete this factory is a real question. Another round of SCV is going to die. 3, 4, 5. He shot the eBay and somehow an SCV died. More SCVs. Oh my! This is really, really good damage. Really insane comeback from Jaedong to make this happen. But Light is going to finally complete that factory, but he has taken massive losses onto his econ. I guess he's done a good job to continuously build SCVs because you can still see his mineral line looks pretty decent. But that was the damage that Jaedong needed to get back into this game. Now he's got his Hydrogen completed. Lurker upgrade I'm sure is coming. Also Queen's Nest on the way. +1 weapon is kicked in for the Mutalisk also, so they're going to really hit hard. I don't think Light's going to be able to push across this map anytime soon. Probably going to have to go into Vessels. I don't think he's got enough time to do anything with the Valkyrie push. But maybe I'm wrong because I do see a smallish building at his natural. But if you're going to go Valkyries, you know, a lot of time the power of the Valkyrie is when you can combo it with a tank. But the factory's floating, so I'm not sure how effective just the Valkyries are going to be. A couple more Marines end up dying right there. Light has branched off one Firebat. He is running for his life across the map. Gonna get intercepted by a Ling, and Jaedong noticed it, so that's gonna get taken down. Hive coming in, and Jaedong is sitting pretty now. I don't really think he can get busted at his third base or natural, and I don't think the Valkyries are gonna be game changing, so he has done it here. He's recovered. That Firebat, see you later. Lurkers, they are just now starting. I guess Light technically has a slight window of opportunity here, but I don't think he's going to be able to get through. Maybe, okay, he's going for it. Maybe I'm wrong. The Lurkers are slightly late, and the Mutas are out of position. They're sitting in the middle of the map. That is only one sunken. Scan. Oh my gosh, all the Lurkers get... Oh, he didn't target fire immediately, but the Mutas are so weak. Did Light really just steal this? Oh my god, Jaedong slightly out of position with the Mutas, and now Light is going to get the game! Oh, I really do think that was the only timing that it could possibly work. And Jaedong just slightly too late with the Lurkers. What was it, 5 seconds too late? If even one of them were burrowed, and the Mutas were there to help support the Sunken, I think Light would have not been able to plow through. It would have been 3 base Zerg with Hive Tech versus a Terran who was going Valkyrie, no vessels, would have had no irradiates. How on earth do you bust any bases at that point? But Light, literally at the only moment of opportunity, gets the victory. That sexy Terran flaunting those Crocs ends up making it out of the group in first place. Luck was definitely on Light's side today. First, the YSC game, where the turret gets the miraculous shot. Now, this game, where he just hits at the perfect timing. Why were the Mutas so far in the center of the map is the question to me. Like, look how far away they are from the units. Like, they can't even see them. They have no idea where they're going. Look, why is he down that far? He's lost complete vision. You don't know if Terran turned back to their main. Look, he's looking like maybe Terran turned back. But no, they're just going across the map. He still doesn't know technically where the army is. Look how far away they are. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're at my natural, but I'm completely out of position. Now you can see that panic has struck. The Lurkers burrow immediately. Actually, when that one Lurker got off the second spine, I thought it was going to get off, you know, that big double damage spine. But he only targeted one Marine. If he could have targeted that top side where all the Marines were lined up, maybe that could have salvaged the game. But either way, the real mistake was just, why were the Mutas so far away? You even also have +1 weapons. So when you stay close by, whenever there's a straggler Marine, for example, you're going to immediately kill it. Either way, it was well done from Light. He had a good pressure move with the one trailing medic going to bottom right, killing that third base. And of course, the clutch defense versus YSC was really good. But of course, YSC, I mean, it was really his botch of the shuttle that saved the day for Light. But either way, the initial defense that Light had versus the Reaver and the Goon and the Zealots in particular, where he didn't really lose many SCVs or Marines in the initial fight, was really fantastic. I'm curious. I wish we did have, or wish I could translate this, to get some understanding of how Light figured out what it was, because he didn't actually know that it was Proxy Robo and Proxy Gate on his high ground for a really long time. By the time he scouted, it wasn't the Robo basically done, so he didn't have a lot of time to scramble and come up with a defense. I think he probably built the eBay just because, well, I don't see anything. Is it Proxy DT? You're gonna have to have the eBay for that. I'd also like to get his feedback on why the turrets were so close to his main base as opposed to being on the outer rim. Because if you remember in that game, the turrets didn't even get any damage onto the shuttle as it initially came in. Like, YSC found the sweet spot in the corner where he was able to shuttle in and take no damage. So the turrets really didn't do that much in that sense. But either way, it was good defense. And that does leave us with both the Zergs remaining in the group. We still have YSC. And unfortunately for YSC, I think he's in a nightmare scenario. First, you've got to go through Shine, whose best matchup is Zerg versus Protoss. He's, of course, wild. He can 5-pull, macro out of it. He can go for the all-in Hydras. He can play the mass mutas. He can really bring it to you, and you've got to be on top of your scouting with him. And then let's say YSC gets through Shine. Then you're facing off versus Jaedong, who I think his best matchup right now is also versus Protoss. And Jaedong is one of those players that definitely has the killer instinct. He's kind of like July Zerg. If he sees an opening, like let's say you're out of position with your Zealot, or hey, you only built one cannon, he will Ling flood you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If he sees the opportunity, he will bring it to you. And just like versus Shine, you got to be really on top of your intel versus someone like that. So it looks like interview is done with Light. We're going to be going into another break, and then we'll be back with that matchup that I just talked about, which is going to be Shine versus YSC. This is do or die time for both Shine and YSC. We are in the losers match. YSC had a great build versus Light, but it still wasn't enough. We've got a minstrel ban from Shine, kickback ban from YSC, and once again, this gives us deja vu. Now, yesterday we saw deja vu of Action versus Best, and Best got steamrolled. It's one of the best macro games that I've probably seen in ASL. Zerg was, up like 50 supply at some point? I think it was even just 13 minutes into the game. I mean, it was just complete domination. Of course, the real issue for Best was he got a little bit too cocky with his Corsairs, ended up losing them, and then died to the Meadow counterplay. And like I was saying before going into the break, you're going to really need to have good tabs on Shine here, because this guy, he could just 4-pool you or 5-pool you just at any moment. Any game, it doesn't matter whether it's Troy, Bloodbath. I can imagine Deja Vu, doesn't really matter. He'll go for it. And I will say that Best's build yesterday was quite interesting. He went for the fast double gas, the Corsair with the fast Citadel into straight double DT. I wonder if YSC saw that game and was thinking like, well, this looks like a cool build. Maybe I'll try it and make a few tweaks, so that I don't fall apart to just mute us. Because we didn't really get to see what the intended game plan was from Best. As soon as the Corsairs died and the first 2 DTs died, it was just completely one-sided in Action's favor. And again, those fans with those Shine meme signs. And we are getting ready to get into our losers match in just a second. Luckily, we still have Jaedong in the deciders match, so there's a Zerg waiting there, so we do have hope that we could still get a Zerg through. YSC, can he be the one to deny that? Deny both Zergs making it through the group? We'll find out. Right, we are ready, so let's get into it. Shine facing off versus YSC, aka Tolbo, both fighting for their lives in this group. And in the top left, we do have Shine, whereas in the bottom left, we do have YSC. And once again, the Zerg player has gotten a good spawn. He's going to go directly towards YSC's base. No 5-pool this time around for Shine, as he's queued up another drone. Yesterday we had the Forge opener from Best. Ended up not being a cannon rush, but he did have the double probe out on the map, so definitely Forge into cannon rush is still being used at the top level. We'll see if we'll see something like that right here. There's the Forge, or sorry, not the Forge, there's the pylon coming down. Looks like this is probably going to be, well, I guess we don't really know at this point. I was going to say maybe we're probably going to see a gate, because I expect the probe to go back down in a second, but this could also just be a delayed Forge. We do have the 9-pool from Shine. Now, hopefully this is not blind 12 Nexus. Please do not be blind 12 Nexus. I am a little bit worried that it is blind 12 Nexus, because a lot of times when I see players go Forge, they do scout pretty quickly. And with there not being any scout, why else do you need this probe back into your base? Is it really that important to have, the additional 16 minerals? I don't know if it is. Please do not be a 12 Nexus. If this is a 12 Nexus, the game's already over. YSC just cannot catch a break, and it gets scouted first. This is just the worst session for YSC. You gotta feel so bad for him. He should not even be in this situation because he should have won that game versus Light. But now he's like, he needs to have the best probe control of all time. When he sees that this is a 9 pool, he's going to be full on panic. Oh, hey, yeah, you can see the reaction at bottom right. He is not happy. Now, like I was saying, the rush distance isn't super long, but at least the forge is done. Maybe that's the reason why he 12 Nexus here and, you know, sent the probe back, because with those additional, you know, few minerals, he can be able to get up the forge in time to stop a 9 pool. But this is so hard. He's clogged up as many holes as he possibly can. That cannon, if the cannon gets up, he's going to be in a pretty good position. Uh-oh. 1 probe gone. Good body blocking. That Ling at the bottom side is not doing much damage. Okay, cannon. It's going to complete. Can he get rid of all the Lings? No, he's going to lose another probe. Well, at least he holds, right? At least the game's not, it's not over yet. Oh, he gets another probe. How did he pick that one out? The low HP probe, but this is still just such a bad position because his worker count is so down in the dumps. What is it? Does he even have 6 probes in the main? I realize it says 10 supply, but is he building a Zealot? If he's building a Zealot, maybe he can run across the map. No, he's not. He doesn't have a Zealot coming. So it is, I guess with the 12 Nexus, he can recover his probe count. He has his gateway done, right? So it's not like he has to spend money on that. So, you know, I don't play Protoss or Zerg, but I'm going to wager a guess that it's playable. I feel like it's definitely Zerg favored, but, you know, Shine should have won the game outright with this build, but YSC with the clutch probe defense. But here's the problem when you're playing someone like Shine. You have no intel on the map, and now he's going to turn this into just a 3-hatch Hydra. And with no intel on the map, how are you going to be able to read this? If he goes into gas and starts mining, you know, to get the gas to get his tech, he's not going to have the money to afford cannons, which means he's going to have no counter to the Hydras. This Zealot really needs to get in here, and oh no, it's already half health. Please, somehow. Oh my gosh. Well, it's just a feels bad, man. I mean, that's just all it is. He's gonna send out a probe, but the Overlord spots it. Luckily for him, well, I was gonna say luckily for him, the Lings don't have speed, but they've already intercepted it, so there's no way that it's gonna get across the map. And YSC is recovering nicely. If he can somehow manage to sniff this out, like get his 3 to 5 cannons that he needs to hold, I can see a world where he can recover from this particular situation. If Shine all-ins too hard and does no damage, we already have the cybernetics coming up. You know, YSC could just transition into straight Citadel, but look at this. The Lings get back in the nick of time to prevent the probe from seeing the drone count. Now the probe comes back in and we'll see that there's only 3 drones, but is this, you know, can you discern that this is actually Hydras? He knows that there's definitely not drones being built there because the eggs would have completed. Oh, he sees the Hydras. Okay, and he's already built cannons. YSC might hold this. Got 3 Zealots out. He's got his cybernetics done. I think he has a Stargate done. Oh, cannon on the ramp also? Okay, I don't know about how much how impactful this will be, but if Hydras go to the low ground or to the low side of the map, obviously the cannon's going to rack up a lot of DPS. I think that this is going to be held, and now Shine is going to have to try and transition. Oh, what? Does the Overlord really see that? Is that possible? How did he see it? Okay, well, Hydras come in here, and wow, 1 focus down immediately, 2nd one focused down, and 3rd one's gonna get focused down. Yep, hands off the keyboard. YSC, he knows it's over, man. Nothing he could do. It was just complete build order counter. He had a good response with the cannons, got good intel with his single probe, but today was just not his day. Like I said, he shouldn't have even been in that situation. He should have gotten the victory versus Light. Then we would have had him versus Jaedong. Maybe he still would have had to face Shine at some point, but that's a tough way to lose in your group. I feel really bad for him, but he had good builds. But unfortunately, he's gonna have to wait another season. And that guy right there, Stone Cold Killer, he gets some redemption, and he's going to have a rematch versus Jaedong. So Jaedong, of course, got the best of him in the first game with the 9 pool. Now, it's not going to be Dominator anymore, and it's not going to be Deja Vu where it's going to be close rush distances. The remaining maps are going to be something like, what is it, Minstrel, Monty Hall, Pantheon, and those maps are pretty big. I've only played a few games myself on them, but whenever I do get onto those maps, it really does feel like it takes a long time for you to scout. So if Shine has prepared another 12 hatch play, I think he may be able to get it to work. So we're going to be going into the final break of the day, and then we'll be back with our deciders match, Shine versus Jaedong, a rematch. All right, final game of the day. Shine versus Jaedong rematch is upon us. We get a Zerg out. I can't believe it. Finally, one of them is going to make it out. And look at this. We have Monty Hall ban from Shine. We've got a Pantheon ban from Jaedong. And I totally forgot that Radion was even in the map pool. So we're going to get a normal map, standard map. We saw it last season also. Another big map. So, I was saying before going into the break that if you do have a 12 hatch planned, all of the remaining maps seem pretty good for 12 hatch. So I imagine probably Shine will open the same way. But if you're Jaedong here, I guess the question is do you want to go 12 hatch yourself? Or if you think Shine's going to 12 hatch again, do you try and go 9 pool speed once again? I'm actually kind of leaning towards Jaedong 9 pooling again, because I do think the chances of it being another, I guess technically an 11 hatch, once again, is quite high. We'll see what Jaedong comes up with, but either way, it is fantastic that one of these Zergs is going to make it out. And regardless of who makes it out, whether it's Shine, who always does really well in tournaments, or Jaedong, you have high expectations for them going into the round of 16. So players are ready. Let's get into the final game of the day. And here we are. This is exactly what we wanted. We've got cross spawns. We've got Shine in the top left and Jaedong in the bottom right. Jaedong always got a scowl on his face, always super serious when it comes to tournaments. Wants to rip your heart out when he plays. And looking at the Overlord scout patterns, both pretty much going, the intended direction, going to be scouting towards the natural, but of course we know neither of them have spawned at those locations. See the boosting for Jaedong on the right side, of course. It's a little bit better than the boosting on the left, but somehow Shine was up money temporarily. And Overlord for either side. Okay, yep, Overlord for both sides, so no 9 pool. I do imagine this is going to be 12 hatch. Like I was saying, it's a big 4-player map. You really got to think that 12 hatch is the likely candidate here. I guess we could see an overpool still, but I really do think we're going to have both players go 12 hatch. Go, additional drones. Okay, 11 hatch for Jaedong. And will we have an additional drone queued up for Shine? We do. Alright, so he's going to eke out one more drone. His natural is going to be slightly slower, but we're talking like 5 seconds. It doesn't really make a big difference here. Spawning pool. And now I'm sure Jaedong will start recovering that single drone deficit that he has. There's the spawning pool for Shine, so everything has gone pretty normal to me. Gas comes down instantly for both sides. Alright. So basically mirrored builds, essentially. I mean, really no difference at all, other than Shine being up. Well, he is technically up 1 worker right now, but I do think that Jaedong will catch that up. Now we've got the Overlords. Both of them actually have moved towards the center. I mean, look at this scout pattern. It's literally identical. Now, will they be able to gauge which direction they came from, I guess is the question. Will he continue to go diagonal like that? Or will either one of them try and, like, for example, Jaedong here, loop around the top right? Looks like these Overlords have missed each other, which is shocking. I thought that Jaedong was going to intercept the one in the middle, but actually didn't happen. And Jaedong never did recover that single worker. Did he? I'm not sure. Maybe he has now. But either way, Lings are out on the field. I think speed was started for Jaedong, whereas there's still no speed for Shine. He's instead gone into Lair. So Jaedong's going to be the one that wants to be aggressive here. So if Shine does build additional drones, he might be in trouble. Oh, well, there's one drone. I don't know if he transferred that down or if it was just built there. But if he builds another one, he's going to be in trouble because this really does look like it's a Ling all-in. More Lings being built from both sides. I like how Jaedong has shown some Lings, but he hasn't shown all of them. And more Lings being built from Shine here, making sure that he doesn't get caught by a massive Ling flood. Shine gonna try and sneak in a Ling, and he does. It went unspotted, actually. And now he's gonna come in here and see, hello, that's a lot of Lings, and also you have speed, and that means that Shine needs to get down a Sunken immediately. Oh, yep, he canceled. I think that must have been a drone. Uh-oh, the Sunken didn't build. An Artosis moment, it didn't build. Every second matters in ZVZ. This could be it, man. Oh my gosh, he droned maybe a little bit too hard. He's got a couple of drones coming down. Of course, his lair is way farther ahead of Jaedong's, but he may not be able to survive this attack. That is so many Lings. More coming. The drone did a lot of damage, actually. And he holds. Plus, he has a Sunken. And now that means, what is the Spire timing? Oh, massive advantage for Shine. Clutch defense, even with the delayed Sunken. And now what do you do as Jaedong? 300 health, slower Spire. What is that, like 30 seconds difference? I think that's basically the build time of Mutalisk. Factor in travel distance. It's going to be pretty rough for Jaedong to actually have Mutas in time. He may be obligated to build Scourge, and we all know that at pro level, Scourge is really hard to make connect. I don't know about this. Yeah, I think it is smart to just stay by your Sunken. For now, Shine doesn't see any additional Lings from Jaedong. He hasn't gotten in far enough with his Overlord, I don't think, to spot if it's just a fully committed all-in. But we see that it's not. The first Muta's out. And is the Spire done? There's no gas spent from Jaedong just yet. So he may actually start losing some drones or Overlords or something. Still no units started. Okay, now he's starting. Now he spent all of his gas and minerals. So it is actually going to be Mutalisk instead of Scourge. I think that's the correct choice here. Oh, I just realized that Jaedong is mining his nat gas much faster than Shine. So if he doesn't take any damage, which he's not, he's going to start running away with the gas advantage. There's also not that many drones at the natural. There's only one. Shine may not be able to catch up. How many Mutas is it? 5 versus 5? Okay, 6 and 2 Scourge. You gotta imagine with, production rally point advantage, if Shine commits to an attack, you gotta think that Jaedong will most likely win it. So I think Shine at this point needs to just try and angle for his opportunity. Jaedong, despite going for the Ling Flood, he's up supply, he's up gas income. He's got 3 on gas. I see Shine has 3 on gas also. Shine finds an opening here. He finds the Overlord, but look at this. I don't know if that's only Lings at the left side, but a huge counterattack went undetected. Now, Shine is turning around, but if he runs by this Sunken, which he is, here he's in there. I think the Spire is very fortified. I don't think that's going to get taken down, but okay, maybe. No, you're not going to kill that, are you? I don't know about this. This seems like a lot of lost Lings for not much. Okay, Jaedong did not combo this Muta attack with the Lings. Instead, they're still sitting at the center of the map. That is a lot of Mutas, though. That is a ton of Mutas plus Scourge. Oh, gets a drone kill. Get another drone kill. No. Almost gets a kill. Oh, big Muta engagement. Scourge connected. Not going to commit, though. Not going to commit. Both players are dead even supply, 45 to 45. Ling is snuck in. He spots it though. Okay, that gets taken down really easily. Only 2 on gas. Shine needs to fix that. He needs to fix that ASAP. Longer the game goes, of course, it's going to be much better for Jaedong. That is 10 Mutas? Oh, how did he do that? 10 Mutas for Shine. How many for Jaedong? That looks like more than 10 to me. That is obviously much more Scourge for Shine. If he can get the connection, That could be all he needs. What is this? 12 mutas for 13 mutas for Jaedong versus just 10. This is an overwhelming advantage. Oh, Lings. Mutas find the opening. Goodbye, drone. Uh-oh. But Shine, he may have gone too far. He's now stuck. You're gonna have to fight. 13 versus 10. That's a lot of Scourge. Big connections. He got a couple there. Oh, another connection? Okay. 8 versus, I think it's 8 versus 10. I think Jaedong's going to win this battle. Scourge need to connect. Scourge, there's one. Oh, did he connect 2 of them? How many is that left for Jaedong? Just 4? How many for Shine? Oh, that's 8 actually. That was just 4. 8 versus 7. It's still muta advantage for Jaedong. He's up only 3 supply, so it's still really damn close. Getting those drones was huge though for Shine. Gonna start evening up the econ. He's put back 3 onto gas. Jaedong also gonna fix that gas. But we've got a pretty much even game at this point. Even supply. I wonder if Jaedong has used any of his gas to get like the armor upgrades. Or if Shine has done so. I don't think Shine has had opportunity to get armor upgrades. But maybe Jaedong tried to sneak in armor. We've got a Sunken coming in. Okay, somehow Jaedong is running away with supply. How did this happen? 39 to 32? Does he really just have that big of an advantage in econ? Oh, we've got spores coming up. Okay, that's why. 3 drones just got spent by Shine. There's pretty much the difference right there. Sunken for Jaedong though. So it looks like Shine is thinking that he can't win the air battle straight up. So instead, he's gone for spores as like his hidden move. And when he spots that the mutas are out of position, he's probably going to go counter, wipe out the drone line, and then have Jaedong have to deal with these spores if he wants to counter, obviously. Might be okay. Well, Shine's in the center of the map. Actually, was expecting Shine to go towards the right side or to bottom left and, you know, immediately counter, but instead, not the case. The mutas are gonna try and make something happen here. Jaedong has a lot. He probably feels like he's got the advantage, but when he sees the spore, I think he's gonna turn around. Well, there's a free overlord for him. Okay, there's a drone. Gets 1. But now he's confirmed that this guy has spores. Oh. There's another spore. Oh, that is so many Scourge though for Jaedong. The Scourge, they get multiple connections. But the spore is dealing a lot of damage. Wow, Jaedong just has so much money somehow. He's going to build a 3rd hatch, 3rd base. Going to have 3 gas pretty soon. Of course, Shine has no intel on this. Jaedong's starting to run away with it, assuming that he can get this hatchery up and running. Neither player has armor upgrades still. Jaedong, or sorry, not Jaedong. Shine has a lot of gas built up, 500 gas. But he's supply blocked. That's the 2nd supply block coming in. He just can't get any mutas out. And that's going to give Jaedong a breath of fresh air here. Allow him to get his 3rd hatch up and running. Probably allow him to drone cycle a couple times. And then start an evolution chamber if he wants. Finally a kill onto an overlord, but had to sacrifice 2 Scourge for that. I think Shine's in trouble, man. It would be different if maybe he had Hive coming, but the fact that he doesn't have Hive coming, the fact that he doesn't have armor upgrade, he's just down in every... Okay, he does have armor upgrade. Okay, so at least that's one advantage for him. But if he wants to win this game, he needs to make use of that upgrade before this 3rd base kicks in. He's starting his 3rd base when Jaedong is starting his gas at the completed 3rd base. This Ling got taken out, so he still hasn't confirmed the 3rd base. He probably thinks Jaedong is all in on just 2 bases. He probably feels like he's dealt enough damage. Oh, well, never mind. The mutas are going to find this base. He's going to get 1 drone kill and just back off. Almost a 10 supply lead for Jaedong at this point. This is huge in ZVZ. I'm really feeling the pressure. He's drawn the units out of position. Okay, is this the moment? He's got all the mutas completely out of position, but he doesn't commit. Doesn't get anything. I think he's worried about getting his own third base killed, which is why he didn't go in there. Okay, gets another drone, another 2 drones. This is great for him. Does he still have the armor advantage? He does. He might be able to win this fight, but he needs his whole army here. I can see that he sent a bunch of his Mutalisk and Scourge back. That's so many mutas for Jaedong, man. And the second group doesn't look full for Shine, whereas it does look like it's a full 2 groups for Jaedong. Okay, here we go, the massive engagement. Tons of Scourge running in. Didn't commit, though. That's so many mutas. Okay. Oh, +1 kicked in for Jaedong. So now the window of opportunity has closed. There is a macro hatch in the main for Shine, so he does have, more larva available to him. He could, if the game continues to progress, maybe catch up in supply by using that additional larva. He's got his third base up and running with the third gas in just a second. He's got his spore colonies coming up in a moment. This is a close game, despite the supplies being, such a huge deficit. 17, I do think if Shine can get up like 3 spores at each base, he's definitely not out of it. The Ling confirms that the third base is up, and he does see that this guy is starting to build spores. So I guess if there's any moment to try and kill this base, this is the time to do it. And here we go, Jaedong moving across the map with a ton of Scourge, a ton of Mutalisk. Remember, he's got at least 2 groups here, maybe even 2.5. I think maybe Shine barely has 2 groups. Okay, there's a kill on some Scourge. Spore is racking up a lot of damage. Does Jaedong really want to commit here? The answer is yes! No. That one Spore really doing a lot of damage. I guess the question is does the Spore cover the Extractor? Okay, well, he's just going to blow this Spore up. Goodbye. And that means that this is going to be potentially the final engagement. Big Scourge connections on both sides, but look how few Mutalists are left for Shine. And Jaedong, he crushes this army, up almost 30 supply. Is that the last Mutalist? It looks like it is. And Jaedong, he is going to win this game. There's no way that there's any comeback potential anymore. Shine, he looked really good versus YSC, obviously with the complete counter. Great game in game 1 versus Jaedong, but Jaedong a little bit too strong today, and he's going to get the victory. We're just waiting for it. You know it's coming. Doubling the supply. See a hatch. Overlord gone, Ling's gone. Yep, there it is. Comes out, and that's it, boys. It's the return of the Tyrant. He's going to make it into the round of 16 along with Light. So we do have our third Zerg. We know who it is. It is Jaedong. There's no other Zergs remaining, as tomorrow's going to be only a Terran and Protoss group. But well done from Jaedong. What did he do? He beat Shine twice, right? So ZVZ was... The coin flip was in his favor today. A little bit unlucky for Shine. First game going for the 11 hatch. Got punished. This time around, didn't get punished. But Jaedong, I still don't know where he got all that money. How did he get his third base up so quickly? Yes, I realize he had his natural running a little bit more efficiently. But, Shine came in there and sniped a couple of drones. I really thought he had brought it back to even. But maybe, I guess, getting the faster +1 armor allowed Jaedong to get or fast +1 armor for Shine allowed Jaedong to use that money towards the hatchery first. And then, of course, supplies skyrocketed once that kicked in. Either way, well done from him. And we are pretty much done today. Lucky group for me, solo casting today. Almost every game was pretty short. Surprisingly, it wasn't the ZVZ the longest game of the day. I think it was. And we're getting a look at how the last game has played out. I don't know whose upgrade that was, but I actually think it was Shine's +2 armor. So that's probably why his mute count was so low. You know, +2 armor is a pretty expensive upgrade. What is it, 225, 225? So that's 2.5 mutas right there. And then, of course, having the drone line interrupted once again by the Lings. It's just too much of a deficit to overcome. Spore gets blasted, and that's all she wrote pretty much. Yeah, look at that. I mean, if Jaedong had waited one more minute, I still think he would have won the battle, but it wouldn't have been as overwhelming as it was, right? Like, what was it, a 30 supply lead at the end of that fight? I still think he would have won, but it probably would have been maybe something closer like 15 to 10, which is, you know, still considerable in ZVZ. So congrats to Jaedong. He makes it out. And we're just going into player interview, of course, with no sound. We can't get any translation. But I'm sure he probably thinks to himself that he probably should have gotten out in first place. Probably thought that he had game one, let it slip through his hands just barely versus Light. I think he probably, when he, you know, follows up this tournament with a stream later on today, I'm probably sure he'll review the games and he'll probably say what I said earlier, which is he really just needed to shadow those Marines. If he shadows the Marines, they don't bust the natural, and probably he's just in a prime position to take that game versus Light. Light was just in such a really poor position because of how much damage the mutas did to the factory in particular. You get your tech delayed that long when you're going for a 3-racks. It's almost an unrecoverable position. And I'm sure Jaedong's feeling really good about this victory. I think if we remember from the graphic earlier today, what did it say? Like the past 3 seasons, he's made it only to the round of 24. So for him to get a victory here and move into the round of 16, I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about that. Also, like I said at the beginning of the cast, he's been playing really well just in general these days. So I think that he's got a good shot making it into the round of 8 also. I guess it depends on the group that he gets. You know, Sulky, not exactly the easiest opponent. Hero, also not the easiest opponent. Then you have Snow, who's just super deadly, or has been super deadly the past few months. And last season, also Sharp was on fire. But I will say, out of all 4, I think Jaedong probably wants to get into Sharp group the most, because I think Sharp's TVZ is clearly his weakest matchup. So if there's any group to want to be put into, I think that's the one. But if you get it put into that group, you know, there are so many Terrans remaining. Sharp may try and just stack the group with all Terrans, because I don't think Terran in general wants to play versus Protoss. And you can't pick from any Zergs, right? So I guess in that sense, it could be hard for Jaedong, because then you're essentially playing 3 Terrans, and that's going to be a nightmare scenario. You know, who would you really want to face out of the Terran lineup? You don't want to face Light. You don't want to face Rush. You really only want to face Sharp, really. All the other Terrans are just so strong in TVZ, especially JYJ, who JYJ is just crazy strong. Like, what did he... the season that he won ASL, didn't he literally just irradiate every Zerg to death? Like, every time I watched him play, he had like 20 vessels. Even though Hydra Lurker Defiler, I think, is the counter to SK Terran, he made it look easy with just how incredible his vessel usage was. Still feel bad about YSC. I wonder what the pro reactions are going to be. You know, there's been a compilation of the pro reactions to Motives, you know, Proxy, Gate, and Forge, and it was quite hilarious seeing the pros to react to that. I think that the pros here are going to be a little bit more forgiving for YSC. That turret man literally changed the outcome of this group. Literally, literally changed it. YSC could have been the first one out. We could have had Light versus Shine in the losers match, and Shine maybe could have gotten a victory there, and then Light doesn't get out, and that would have been a huge upset. Well, either way, since I don't have a co-caster here, I'm going to take some time to shout out the StarCastTV Patreon. If you guys have liked the content that we are providing, you know, the ASL cast, the StarCastTV Star League cast, the just direct sponsored games that we cast on the stream, definitely consider becoming a Patreon supporter. You know, the support goes a long ways. We have season 3 of StarCastTV tournament coming out pretty soon. Probably going to be put out after ASL, but I am recording it right now, so you should be looking for that within the next few months. And all the support that we've already received, I really do appreciate it because it really does go a long ways. And looks like player interview is done. And I'm sure we're going to get a breakdown of how today's games went with the next graphic. Here we go. So Light beat YSC. Then we had Jaedong beat Shine. Build order win. Light beat Jaedong. Great timing there. Then we had Shine counter YSC. And of course, Jaedong getting the best of him once again. This gives us almost the full round of 16. Still waiting on tomorrow. You can see we've got 3 Zergs now. No more Zergs remaining, so that's it for them. But what a lineup there. Even if we don't get any more Protosses through the round or in tomorrow's group, you still got to like their chances there with Bisu, Snow, Mini, and Rain. And then as stated, tomorrow's group is JYJ, Mind, Free, and Stork. People on Team Liquid have talked about that Stork's playing really well these days, so have high hopes for him. Haven't seen Free in a while. I think the last time we saw Free was back when Effort was playing. And what was it? That big 4-player map. It had the back base. It was kind of similar to Outsider, kind of. I can't remember the name. It's eluding me right now. But we had an epic game between Free and Effort there. So Free is definitely a strong player. I think in the end, Effort barely got the best of him. But Free's a big-time macro player, and he's going to have to really pull out his A game here versus someone like JYJ and Mind. We could also see an epic PvP between Stork and Free, whether it's in the loser side or in the winner's match, which we haven't seen that many PvPs, right, in the ASL so far. So that would be a nice switch up. And of course, everybody's favorite matchup, if we end up getting TVT between JYJ and Mind. We did have them face off in the ASL finals where I will just say it bluntly, JYJ did look like he was on another level in TVT. Like it was not a close series. It was either 4-0 or 4-1. I can't remember exactly. But hopefully, if there is the TVT, Mind has upped his TVT matchup in particular. Because if that matchup does happen, the way JYJ just dominated the series, you probably got to favor JYJ in that particular matchup. So either way, I'm excited for tomorrow. I am just going to call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with Group F.